I have to tell you that I have walked by this man for 40 years, side by side, and he is not only a good man, but he is a great man. I want you to...
Now, Ellie, these folks didn't come to hear about me. They came to hear about our adventures. Ellie, let's just share some stories with these folks. What should we tell them about?
Well, I think we should just tell them about some of the visitors we've been having in our home lately.
It's been good to be back in McCook, and we've had a number of visitors to our home. Some of my favorite are the soldier boys. Is that who you're talking about? You know, just last week we had a young boy from Georgia, a soldier boy that said he grew up with his parents talking about how much of a difference the Tennessee Valley Authority was making in their lives. And as he got up to leave that night, he said, well, the first thing I'm going to do when I get back to base is sit down and write my parents and tell them that I got to spend the evening with the Norrises.
George William and I have talked many times about the TVA and how it was really just the beginning of something much bigger. And I know it was George's dream to take other river valleys like the Mississippi and the Missouri Valley and harness that power and make power available for people around the nation. And the REA, the Rural Electrification Act, has actually started to pave the way for people to have energy all over the country, not just in the cities, but in the rural parts too. And
it covered 41,000 acres. Can you imagine that? In 7 states. And there were over 3.5 million people that would be affected by the Tennessee Valley Authority when it was all finished. And the honest work that's done in the benefit of our fellow man is the best pay that we can ever receive in this imperfect world. And it provides for us something that goes deeper and farther into the human heart than any compensation could ever go. And every time a farmer gets electrification to his farm, well, Ellie, that's just kind of my paycheck. You know, as I think about our travels, as I think about our 40 years in Washington, D.C. and all the battles that were fought there and how much I enjoyed serving the people not only of this state but the people of our nation, Washington was a place that I dearly loved. And I remember when President Roosevelt was campaigning for another term of office, he stopped here in McCook, made a whistle stop, and I was so happy to show him our town and to be his host while he was here. And we drove out to the edge of town up on a hill, and we witnessed one of our wonderful and beautiful Nebraska sunsets. And he was impressed by that, so impressed that in fact in the years ahead, often when we would talk, he would remind me of that beautiful McCook, Nebraska sunset. They say home is where the heart is, and my heart has always been right here in McCook. Yes, Ellie, it's good to be home.
indeed it is, George. Yeah, you know, I remember those long speeches, George. Many times I would go to the gallery and listen to you, and you would oftentimes come home after that and you would say how tired you were and how tired your feet were especially, and I always thought, boy, I thought it would be your tongue that would be tired after all that talking.